Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Raw December 17th review, the Slammy's, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as I am making this recording, the Off the Rope Show and the British Fist have not been doing these reviews. And I don't blame them because really, I said in my TLC review that at the end of it, the WWE has been very desperate in how they've been doing their work now because, as I said before, after the elections, it was obvious to the brass of the WWE that their product was so bad that most of the people that they would never expect to go to TNA has been going to TNA or any other promotion that is available. So the TLC review clearly showed they did better, but not by much. I gave them a B- grade. It should be a B grade. It should be a B+ grade because we know if the WWE do good work, they can easily get a good grade. But they haven't. They were lucky to get a B- from me. I could have easily given them a C+ or a C. How did the Slammies go? I'm not going to be detailed on this one because I kind of zoned out on it because it was just too much. Let's be honest. Having to have an app to vote. What happened to Raw Active and Twitter? Now they're trying to get people to be using an app. That zoned me out right there. I got bored with it. And they kept repeating it throughout the night, which I understand. They gotta get the app out there. But honestly, they could have done this ahead of time for the Slammies. They could have said this on the previous Raw and SmackDown before TLC that we're going to be doing a vote with the Slammy, and could have not only put the information on the website, they could have said it more clearly on their shows. Now, if they did, because I didn't get a chance to really see both shows, I'd take it back. I'm sorry. But I don't believe they did. I believe they did this at the last minute, and if they did talk about it before, it wasn't very much. The Slammies had a lot of people in it. It had Tommy Dreamer in it. It had Ric Flair in it. It had the Boogeyman in it. Okay, that was a bit of a mark-out moment for me because I haven't seen the Boogeyman in a while. But I was not satisfied with what they did with the Boogeyman because he didn't present anything and he was only there for maybe 20 seconds. What was that? You want to bring someone back to make it more interesting. Bring back someone that really is interesting. The Boogeyman has not been seen for at least a couple of years now. If you're going to try and drum up some more interest in your product, someone hasn't been seen for quite a long time. Should have been allowed more than 30 to 20 seconds to be on screen. So I lost interest in that. Seeing Ric Flair made me happy. I'm not going to say it didn't. Seeing him get attacked by the Shield and then messing with CM Punk wasn't bad either, but it really isn't going to lead anywhere because we know obviously that Ric Flair isn't there permanently. He's not. If he does come back, it's going to be in limited form, and I don't even think he's going to be back. I think it was only a one-time only. They had to pay him some good money to be on their Raw. I'm telling you that. Ricky isn't someone that just comes for little cash. He comes for the big load. And that brings me into seeing Mean Gene, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and Jim Ross. I was very happy to see them. I was happy to see all three of them. The thing is that if you allowed Ricky the Dragon by himself, would have had more impact because we really don't see Ricky very often. Mean Gene, most of the time they bring him out, even though you don't see him much. JR has been there since pretty much Jerry Lawler had been out. So it wasn't something that dramatic. It would have been better just Ricky by himself. And seeing Jerry Lawler win an award, I'm glad about it, but it just doesn't have the energy. Jerry Lawler, you could say a lot about Jerry, but he's a good guy. He earned his position in the WWE. People do love Jerry. I love Jerry. But the thing is that since the heart attack, and it is understandable you have to at least mention it. The thing is that during the commentary, since he came back, they played so many jokes with him about his heart condition and what happened. It actually took away from him coming back. I felt very empty for the last couple of weeks to the last month since he's returned. I'm happy to see him. He does good commentary. but they're always making jokes with JBL. And I have to say, with JBL and Michael Cole or Jim Ross or anyone else, they're trying to poke at him, not to be insulting, because this is being fed into their ear. Some of it. Not all of it. Some of it. They want to just... I know that Jerry is very good friends with Cole and very good friends with JBL and very good friends with JR. But it just didn't feel right for them to poke so many funs in SmackDown Raw. No, not SmackDown. Sorry, in Raw, they were poking a decent amount of jokes about his heart condition. And it just didn't feel like in good taste. Now, I'm sure some of it was fed into their ear. Others weren't. Now, guys are going to make jokes about that. It's how guys are. But the thing is that this is live television. You go only to a point with it. In the beginning or a couple of times throughout it, okay, you can joke about it. But more than a few times during the night, since Jerry's been back, and they've done this more than a few Raws since he's come back, it's lost its luster with me. I just don't like it. That's just me, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a comment below and tell me how you feel about that. But it just, this just didn't feel right. The way they structured the Slammies was that they did what they normally do. They do presenters. They bring out the guys. They let the guys do the wrestling matches. We saw the great Khali with Natalya. Not much of a problem. I still think Natalya's a good-looking woman. But really, there's nothing there. Khali didn't really do much. Brodus Clay, I can say, did finally win a match again on Raw. But does that mean he's going to win matches constantly now? Don't think so. This is probably a one-time thing, and he'll probably go back to jobbing again on SmackDown, which is going to be tomorrow, or next week Raw if they show him again. If they do start pushing him back up on the card again and have him being winning again and give him a storyline, I'll have no problem with it. Brodus Clay is a good talent that I would love to see. The match with 3MB, Alberto Del Rio, and The Miz, along with Tommy Dreamer, because they're in Philly. You know, how can I describe this? They're trying to play to the crowd a lot more than normal. Normally, if I understand correctly, the policy for someone who's from a hometown that they're in, they don't normally win. I can understand for TLC. Look, for Steve Lombardi, the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi, I can understand he deserves a win. He has rarely won anything in years whenever he had to go into the ring. I'm glad they didn't put JTG. They have him job to Brodus Clay. But let's be honest here. That was TLC. This is a regular Raw. Just upped a little bit because they're just giving away some Slammies. They don't normally do this. Back-to-back wins for someone who is in the WWE, at least for a day. Are you kidding me? Seriously? It felt empty. I'm glad Tommy Dreamer won. I mean, we haven't seen him there in quite a long time. He was in EV2 on TNA a while ago. Having him there was okay, but it just doesn't... This Raw did not feel right. It didn't. The ending, you know, seeing Biggie Lawrence, if that's how his name is. I haven't really watched NXT, so I don't know who this person is. So I'm going to see if I can catch up a little bit. But unfortunately, like I said, I'm quite busy, so I don't know if I can do some background on some of these wrestlers, particularly guys in the Shield. It's been very hectic for me. But Biggie Lawrence is a big-ass man. And he flattened John Cena when they had the match between Vicky and John Cena versus AJ and Dolph. And that's another thing that makes no sense. But I'll bring up that in a minute. Having AJ now with Biggie Lawrence, if that's his name, does this mean he's going to be presented? Or is this just something for John Cena to do until next year so he can do something? That's what I'm thinking. John Cena has nothing to do. Zero to do. He has absolutely no... I'm telling you, there's nothing for this man to do. Nothing. He's going to be against CM Punk over and over again. There's nothing left. There is no Brock Lesnar for him to go up against. There is no Triple H for him to go up against. He can't go up against Sheamus because he's a babyface. He can't go up against Big Show because Sheamus is dealing with him. He can't go up against Ryback because he's a babyface and just up and coming. And I will bring up Ryback in a minute. But there's nothing for him to do. He can't face The Rock. And there's no mention of him going up against The Undertaker, even though we did have Triple H win a Slammy for the best match of the year. And he says that pretty much The Undertaker's not done. Not saying anything about himself. So I'm taking a guess he's not going to mention anything to keep it a surprise for next year, if he does anything at all. But there's nothing for this man to do. And I said in my TLC, either give some time to John Cena, let him just go for a couple of months. Leave the WWE and take a break from us. And we take a break from him. Or you find something for this man to do, which it looks like they have. John Cena now is going up against Big E. The question is this going to be interesting or not? Because Big E looks like a big-ass man, but so did Tenzai. And that didn't last long. That's with John Laurinaitis. What happened with John Laurinaitis and Tenzai? Tenzai was going to be pushed as a monster heel. He could have gone to the top. And what happened? By the time he faced John Cena in the second time, he lost. And after that, he just kept jobbing and jobbing and jobbing. And we saw him with Santino Marella. After he faced Kofi Kingston, gets the basically Trouble in Paradise whacked to his head, comes out, falls on his face like the Shockmaster, having some type of thing wrapped around his head with some wrap around his head with a cold compress, hits the floor like the Shockmaster to try and pull something else like that. Barely talks. Where did we get with Tenzai? Absolutely nothing. Albert, or what was he called? Lord Albert. Honestly, nothing there. So Biggie is going to be probably very short, and then he's going to disappear, and there's nothing going to happen. If he's pushed, though, that's something entirely different. But I don't think that's going to happen. That's just a short-term thing for John Cena to keep him going until the Royal Rumble. And what do we get? 0. So the next thing I'm going to mention is Ryback. Ryback basically dealt with the Shield when it came to Ric Flair, and hell no. And when it came to Ric Flair, hell no. Ryback and the Shield, it was like almost a repeat of last night of TLC. Just that Ric Flair was there. I didn't feel any interest or any excitement. I was happy to see the Nature Boy. See the Nature Boy! Ooh yeah, I got myself a rocket in my pocket. Woo! Honestly, I didn't feel anything there. And I like Ric Flair. I do. I remember seeing Ric Flair with Ricky when I was a kid. I've never forgotten how great those matches were when I understood them. Because I was not much any different than most people back then. Some people just wanted some high-impact matches. I watched those matches. I didn't understand completely why they were so long. And now I understand very clearly. Those were long, very long, lengthy matches for a reason. Because you got two great wrestlers, two ring generals, Ricky and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, sorry. And they could do a great match. But here, there was nothing there. Not with CM Punk and not with the Shield. Nothing. And a lot of things didn't make any sense throughout the night. Ryback dealing with Antonio Cesaro was the only few things that made some sense. Ryback right now needs something to do. Give him someone that he can feud with, and then in this case, let him get the title. This is perfect for Ryback, at least by my perspective. Look, Antonio Cesaro has not gotten a good response. Strip him of the title. Let Ryback have it. Because Ryback is way more over. Let this be the beginning of a feud. Excuse me. Let Ryback have his problems with Antonio. And since Antonio left the ring, that's a good indication that Ryback may be dealing with him now and then go after the title by Royal Rumble. Yes, I know that people would say, wait a minute. Why would it even do this? Because Ryback needs something to do. Ryback needs something. Give him the lower card belt and see how he can handle it. Because we knew he wasn't going to get the World Championship, or he wasn't going to get the WWE Championship. Hell, he's not even going to get the Intercontinental Championship. It's too soon. But the U.S. Championship is a possibility. Let him have the undercard belt, and he stands a better chance of getting over more. This will give time for the belt to be presented. You got someone that's already being presented. It's a good mesh. The question is, will they do this feud? I believe they will. But I don't believe it's going to be by Royal Rumble. I don't. I believe they're going to be stupid enough to rush this either on a SmackDown or next Raw. I'm hoping they will not. I hope they don't do this on Saturday Night Main Event. I'm hoping they don't do this on a SmackDown. And I hope they don't do this on a Raw when they have a title match. I want this at the Royal Rumble. It will give more interest to the title. It will give more interest to Antonio. It will give more interest to Ryback. But like I said, I don't believe they'll do this. They'll be stupid enough to rush it. Now, what did I forget here? I'm trying to remember, because this was not a great show and I was not exactly satisfied with it. Let me see here. I've said Tommy Dreamer getting attacked by S.H.I.E.L.D. makes no sense. Really. Unless he's come back for a while, there's no point. But we will see later. Tommy Dreamer got his clock cleaned by the S.H.I.E.L.D. My guess is there's not going to be anything that's going to happen with this. I'll be glad if I'm wrong, but it's not going to happen. I don't think they had Tommy Dreamer back more than just tonight. Because if it was true, they should have brought back the Brooklyn Brawler and let him do something that night. But he didn't. So, let's see. Anything else here? I'm trying to remember, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. Let's see here. I already talked about Lord Tensai and Santina Marella. I still don't know why they had to do the Shockmaster gimmick, which was very stupid. Let's see. Dolph and Vicky. I can only say this, that now finally they're separating Dolph and Vicky, and that's a good thing. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to turn Dolph face. I agree with the Sleg Daddy when he did his review of TLC. They're going against the grain with Dolph. He's not a great heel. He's not. He isn't. But we don't know if he can do a good face either. But they need to turn him face now because they have nothing left to do with him. He couldn't win the belt today. Well, last night, which is his Tuesday. He couldn't win the belt because John Cena stopped him. He could have got the belt from the Big Show. Because basically, who got knocked out by who? Sheamus knocked out by... Well, not Sheamus. The Big Show getting knocked out by Sheamus. And that is something I didn't include. Nothing there in that match. Well, not even a match. It felt like a match almost. For the way talking was not even... like I said, I zoned out in most of what was being said. I heard it, but it almost felt like the match from last night. Having the chair in there, which is a damn big chair, when Big Show was almost as tall as him. Maybe 5'8" or 5'9". It was like, well, maybe near 6. Let's take it back. Almost 6 foot tall, almost. But you know what? It felt like almost an extension of that match from last night in TLC. Well, the night before in TLC. I didn't feel anything. It felt empty. Because, look, these guys have had numerous matches. They have gone back and forth with one another. Sheamus is showing that Irish angry attitude. Big Show is showing how big and monster he is. And nothing came of it. Yes, you get to establish that Big Show is a monster heel that can't be defeated. But now what? What? You're going to keep having Sheamus go after the Big Show? Seriously? I want to see someone else go after Big Show. I am beyond bored right now. And I don't hate Sheamus. I don't hate Big Show. But there's nothing there. Nothing. I am actually bored. I am bored with them. And when Dolph was not allowed to cash in, made it even worse. So what does Dolph do now? Tell me. Dolph's Money in the Bank is going to run out in the next couple of months. What is he going to do? Is he going to lose that? Is he just not going to be able to cash it in? And then what happens to Dolph? does he do his face turn then? Because he's so distraught that he lost everything because he could not cash in? I don't see where the storylines are going here. There's no continuity with the storylines that the WWE is pushing out with this. Their pay-per-view was not that bad. It was a B- show. It had some good things in it, fine. But this, the Slammies, was horrible. D. I say D for the simple fact no storylines were not continued. No new storylines were not really started. Maybe one, and we still don't know. Obviously, another storyline is going to be done with AJ and John Cena, where John Cena may be going up against Biggie. What is the guy's name? What is it? I can't pronounce the guy's name, but I'll just call him Biggie for now. But I just don't know. The one I would want to see is Antonio versus Ryback. I'm hoping that'll be an actual storyline, which you know there's not going to be any story or anything, but if he goes after that title, that's something. But John Cena again with a big guy that we know is not going to get anywhere, and he's just going to be very shortly featured and then get thrown right back to NXT. I don't see any new storylines really. I don't see any really good continuance of any old storylines. They carted out a lot of old faces. Some of them were great to see, but they weren't even allowed to stay on for very long or do anything. The two matches between Sin Cara and Cody and Ray and pretty much Damian were like random and bored. Ray wins, Cody wins. Something we've seen a whole bunch of times. D show. It was sad to see it. I was hoping for something better from the Slammies. So I hope you liked this Zane's View. Give me a subscribe and comment, and give me a comment below. Now that the stupid bars have gone from up to down, and I can see why the British Fist is having so much trouble dealing with it. It's annoying. But you know what? This is how the format is in December. It sucks, but it's what we're stuck with. So give me a comment below. Tell me what you think. And I will hopefully this week be doing another debate of the week or another mixed bag of wrestling. I'm quite busy, but I will get one of them out. And I'm not exactly sure who I'll be doing, but I'm hoping you'll like who I do. So have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.